We get the inside scoop with This Is Us star Chrissy Metz about the new season to come. We'll come to find out about Chrissy's weight loss journey. Then we learn we may be saying goodbye to 2 characters during the next season. Then we see what star was left out on a $2 million bonus. Lastly, we'll take a look back on the TV show series altogether. First, let's take a look at Chrissy on her weight loss journey.
I want to have a fit, healthy body. I don't want to be limited by anything, Chrissy says at the beginning of her journey. While Chrissy strives for a better body and aims to let nothing stop her, that wasn't always the case for this star, especially when she was first starting out in Hollywood. Chrissy says she's been heavier as long as she can remember, claiming that she was always the chubbier kid and that it was difficult having to watch what she ate while other kids were free to eat as they wanted. She realized growing up, if she were to eat certain things, she would surely gain weight. In other words, Chrissy had to be extremely careful about what she ate. While she struggled with the ordeal, it made it even harder to have parents that weren't all too supportive. I remember going to Weight Watchers and was the youngest person in the room, she says. Her mom was still trying to figure out how to be there for her, but it was a process. Her relationship with her stepfather wasn't the best either. She felt as if her body offended him and that he joked about putting a lock on the fridge. She claimed she always felt as if he would stare at her while she ate, making her progress all the more difficult. Chrissy tells how she was forced to do weigh-ins when she was just 14. He'd get the scale from the bathroom and clang it hard on the kitchen floor and say, "Well, get on the damn thing," Chrissy says. For months while she waited for a job, she would get upset and tend to overeat. When Chrissy obtained a role on American Horror Story, it inspired her to start shedding the weight. The show had her wear a fat suit and she thought to herself, "I never want to be this big," and not be able to walk through a door frame. She was consistent with her weight loss journey and soon after got the role on This Is Us. Chrissy hints at 2 cast members we could be saying goodbye to in the coming season. Chrissy has recently hinted that 2 cast members could die in the next season. Although it hasn't been confirmed that it's in fact 2, we can be sure there's at least 1 person who doesn't return for the new season. It's said that in season 6, a good chunk of the show will be focused on Rebecca. The show has been building up the painful goodbye of the character for some time now. Rebecca has been deteriorating and losing her memory for a bit. The new season premieres January 4th, and Chrissy sheds some light on her split with Toby and how she gets closer to Philip and later marries him. But you'll just have to watch the show to learn more about that. It could be a possibility one of the characters we don't see anymore is Kate. It's noted that she isn't seen by her mother's bedside. It's also possible that Miguel, Rebecca's husband, doesn't return because he's not seen in a flash forward. When the series creator Don Fogelman is asked about these theories, he doesn't confirm nor deny. So who or how many characters can we be saying goodbye to in the 6th season and why? How will it happen and who will it happen to? Stick around until January 4th to find out. Fans weigh in on why Kate splitting with Toby is a good thing. Kate and Toby are one of the longest-lasting couples ever since the beginning. It would no doubt be sad to see them divorce, but could it be for the best? In the beginning of the series, Kate and Toby's relationship wasn't approved by fans at first, but initially, the two ended up winning fans over. But could each of their own dreams and ambitions be reason enough to call it quits? With Kate getting a job as a music teacher and Toby getting a job offer he couldn't refuse, fans wonder if it would be best if the two went separate ways. It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for the couple either. With them fighting arguably the most on screen, it's no reason fans think the way they do. The fights between the two were never really resolved, and it seems as if most of their arguments would die down and never get resolved. Fans also feel Toby isn't a good fit for her given he's overbearing at times, and his overconfidence wasn't right for her. While Kate was trying to find herself and navigate through her struggles with her weight and body, Toby wasn't much help. It's possible their split could hurt the series going forward. In a flash forward, it showed Kate remarrying, but Toby wasn't shown. It's another possibility that Toby is one of the cast members who won't be making a return, and if so, could that hurt fans even more? Even if they are opposites, they seem to attract one another in many aspects, but regardless, it's inevitable and proven they split in the future season. Find out why this star on the show was left out of a $2 million bonus. bonus. The cast of the show had received a major payout following the 5th season. At first, everyone was in a celebratory mood, except for one person. One of the show's stars did not receive as big of a payout as the rest. John Huertas received only half of what everyone else did. At $1 million, John received as little of a payout as he did due to the fact he didn't receive a recurring role until season 2. His 7 other co-stars offered to pull their money together and split it evenly so they'd all receive the same, but he declined the generous offer. I mean, it's still $1 million. Who could be sad over that? Ventimiglia, Moore, Brown, Metz, and Hartley have all renegotiated their contracts in 2018, so their salaries are now $250,000 per episode. But even before, their pay wasn't always equal. Prior to their agreements, each star was racking it at different amounts, some from $40,000 to $115,000. Let's look back on the series as a whole. The Pearsons will never forget the first time they watched the This Is Us pilot. They thought they were going to see a show about a few unrelated people who all happened to share the same birthday. The babies born to Mandy and Ventimiglia grew up to be Justin, Chrissy, and Sterling. We take a look back on the slow cooker neighbors. In an episode prior to when Jack died in season 2, we were introduced to an elderly couple who were cleaning out their house just before they sold it. Once their house finally sells, they offer their next-door neighbor Jack a gift, which was a slow cooker. They'd warned Jack the switch on it was messed up, but little did anyone know how messed up it actually was. On that day, Jack decided to use it. It ended up catching on fire, and Jack died due to smoke inhalation. But we come to learn that Jack had a younger brother who lived quietly in the woods. He was just a simple old man who would check his mail and keep to himself, who was thought to have been dead from the Vietnam War. Instead, he made a nice little life for himself in a cozy home in the woods. The biggest surprise by far in the series was a blind musician named Jack. He had met a girl at a local diner and they'd fallen in love. So what was the big plot twist? His name was Jack Damon, and he is the grown son of Kate and Toby. So there you have it. We touched on Christy's weight loss journey and her overcoming her inner turmoil and past. We learned her journey took a turn for the better when she started getting roles, first in American Horror Story and then in This Is Us. We got a possible theory from Chrissy Metz on a character or two who we may be saying goodbye to. After we broke down the pros and cons that could come from Kate and Toby's split, we saw that even as good as a couple as they are, a separation could be what's best for the two. Let's just hope it's not too low a blow for fans to handle. Then we learned about half of the bonus that star John Huertas missed out on. Afterwards, we looked back on a few crazy plot-twisting scenarios that have happened in the series so far. So, what can we expect with the new season? We know we will in fact be saying goodbye to at least one cast member. We also know that Toby and Kate do split, but maybe we aren't saying goodbye to him. What else can we expect in the new season? We'll have to wait a few more weeks to find out. Stay tuned until January 4th when all our questions will be answered. Thanks for watching.